All right. Today we get to do a video that I've been excited for quite some time. So let's see. We are 22 teams in to our prediction series. It means we got 10 teams left. And so far we're on the AFC South. And we're predicting the Jacksonville Jaguars record today for the 2020 season. We're going to look at their schedule and go game by game, predicting wins and losses. So make sure you guys check out the playlist. So far we predicted 22 teams. We finished the entire NFC. And it's time to start with the Jaguars. Now, I just said I was really excited for this. Why do you guys, you guys are probably like, the Jaguars? Come on, bro. Why are you excited for them? I think it's going to be a hilarious season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me tell you why. You know how I start these videos off. We talk about the team to begin. So looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars, their wide receiver core is Chris Conley, DJ Chark, and D.D. Westbrook. Now, D.D. Westbrook, I think he might have been injured in 2019, but D.D. Westbrook, he honestly didn't play that bad under Nick Foles. I thought he had some potential early in the season, and later in the season, he kind of disappeared a little bit. DJ Chark definitely had some chemistry with Nick Foles. I think DJ Chark, out of all three of these guys, might have been performing the best in 2019. Chris Conley, he was definitely disappointing in 2019, and it looks like he's listed as their number one guy. So this wide receiver core, there's nobody special. It's honestly three decent players, and none of them are going to help this team out. Let me tell you why. Their quarterback is Gardner Minshew. All right, let's just run this through. Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, huge contract they paid him, and instead they trade him for a bag of socks, and they're left with Gardner Minshew. Now, you can be like, oh, Minshew Mania. Minshew Mania is not going to win you games, especially with this decent wide receiver core. Like, these wide receivers might be good for a Tom Brady caliber quarterback, or maybe even I think Nick Foles, because he could even play well with this team. Gardner Minshew is not going to be good with this team. Their offense is going to be horrible. Bad offensive line. They did get Tyler Eifert from the Bengals. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Eifert, but I do think that if he was going to a good team, he might be better because he obviously had to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. But he's going from one bad team to another bad team, so rip Tyler Eifert's career. The running back is Leonard Fournette. Fournette didn't have the best season, but it doesn't really matter. One good running back. I think he's honestly definitely not. He didn't perform as well as he could have last year, but one decent player is not going to carry this offense, especially with a bad offensive line. Honestly, Leonard Fournette, request to trade, buddy. That's all I got to say. Their defense, they did have a Pro Bowl defense a couple of years ago, but bye-bye Jalen Ramsey. They have two, maybe three notable players on defense. We got Yannick Ngakoue, good defensive lineman. He helps the defensive line out. Miles Jack, he's a strong middle linebacker. And then they got C.J. Henderson, who played well with the Broncos. He's their number one corner now. But besides those three players, their defense is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. A couple Randys. Nothing special for Jacksonville. So the Jaguars depth chart has holes everywhere. Everywhere. It could be the worst roster I've ever seen in my entire life. My eyes make me want to throw up when I look at it. So, yikes. All right, let's look at the Jacksonville Jaguars schedule. Here it is. Bam, bam, bam. Uh-oh. You see some pretty tough games on there, right? Yeah, I do too. We start out week one with a divisional matchup. The Jaguars, let's go. They start off with a home game against the Indianapolis Colts. GG. Jaguars not going to win this one. The Colts upgraded the quarterback position. The Colts were in contention for the division last year. They went 7-9. That was with Brissett being injured. They had some struggles. I think Marlon Mack was injured down the stretch. Healthy Colts team week one. Definitely going to get the win here. No shot the Jaguars upset. Jaguars 0-1. Week two. They travel to the Tennessee Titans. This game's in Tennessee. Titans good on offense. Really solid on defense as well. The Titans' offense is going to be elite this year. Ryan Tannehill, he's a decent quarterback. Definitely a lot better than Gardner Minshew. But he's going to have a really good season because he's got A.J. Brown, who really developed in 2019. He'll have a really good year 2020. And then he has Corey Davis to take away some of the coverage from him to make sure he doesn't get double-teamed. So the Titans' offense, definitely elite. Definitely get the win here against the garbage Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Garbage, I said. 0-2. Week 3, they play the Miami Dolphins. This game's in Jacksonville. Week 3, let's see. Who's starting? You know what? I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick starts the first couple weeks of the season. I don't know if he's going to play week 3. I think Tua might be in at this point. It doesn't matter. The Dolphins upgraded their team. So the Dolphins and Jaguars are heading in completely different directions. Dolphins trending up, Jaguars trending down. The Dolphins roster, definitely not the strongest I've ever seen, but they do have some key players that'll help. Byron Jones, Devontae Parker. Their running back core is actually pretty strong this year. I think the Dolphins are going to be contenders. I think Mike Gesicki is really overrated. He's going to be a good tight end once the Dolphins get a lot stronger offensive line and a stronger receiver core. I think the Dolphins definitely trending upwards, get the win here in Jacksonville. Jaguars 0-3. Next up, they play the Cincinnati Bengals. This game's in Cincinnati. Now, honestly, if this game was in Jacksonville, this could be the Jaguars' only win of the season. But it's in Cincinnati. The Bengals do have a strong offense, I think, this year. Their offensive line needs some work, but so does the Jaguars' defensive line. Both of these rosters have holes. The Bengals' defense definitely is not great. The Jaguars' defense is definitely not great, but the Jaguars' offense is horrible. I think Joe Burrow is definitely a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew. Bengals get the win. It's a home game for them. Jaguars 0-4. Next up, they play the Houston Texans. First matchup for them at the Texans. It's in Houston. Now, the Texans definitely did not win the offseason, but they definitely don't have that many holes in their roster compared to the Jaguars. They still have a strong quarterback of Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson won't lose to this defense. Texans definitely get the win here. Next up, Jaguars play the Detroit Lions. This game's in Jacksonville. Now, let me tell you what. There's a 0% chance that the Jaguars win this game. The Lions are going to be good in 2020. Just get prepared, all right? Matthew Stafford, honestly, is an elite quarterback. Just because he was injured for 1 year doesn't mean anything. Good stats. He's got Kenny Golladay, wide receiver. He actually has a strong wide receiver core. Good running backs now. They drafted a running back to bolster Kerryon Johnson if he gets hurt again. And they traded basically Darius Slay for Trufant and Jeff Okudah. So whatever about that. Their defense is still going to be strong. So is their offense. Lions get the win here. Jaguars start off 0-6. Next up, they play the Los Angeles Chargers. Game's in Los Angeles. Similar thing to the Cincinnati Bengals game. It's an away game, which kind of sucks for the Jaguars. I think Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Minshew. I think he'll develop. I think he's probably going to be starting at this point. I think Taylor might start out as the starter, but I think they'll put Justin Herbert in middle to late in the season, which is kind of where this game is. This is like week 7, it looks like. Keenan Allen, star player. They got Joey Bosa, star player. Jaguars have nobody. Chargers get the win here, 0-7. They play the Texans again, divisional matchup. This game's in Jacksonville. Same reason as the last game. Texans better roster. It's not going to be close. Texans sweep the Jaguars 0-8. Halfway through the season, winless. The schedule only gets a little harder. Next up, they play the Packers in Green Bay. Come on. Packers, I think they actually aren't going to be as good as they were in 2019. But with that being said, I do think they'll definitely have a winning record. I think their offense with Aaron Rodgers definitely so good. I think Aaron Jones definitely upgraded his playing abilities last year in 2019. So they definitely get the win. Packers easy, and they're 0-9. Next up, they play the Steelers. This game is in Jacksonville. Oh, it would be so funny. We all know that Dan's a Steelers fan. It would be so funny if the Jaguars won this game. Too bad the Steelers have one of the best defenses in the league. Steelers offense honestly could be bottom of the league. Could be like 20th overall, maybe 15th overall if Ben Roethlisberger trolls, which he might because elbow injury is nothing to joke around about. But the Steelers defense definitely going to be really good. Top of the league even. Steelers get the win here. No doubt about it, but it would be funny to see them win. What's that? 0-10 it looks like now. Next up, they play the Browns. This game's in Jacksonville. Browns have a better roster than the Jaguars on offense and defense. The Browns have some star players. Jaguars don't. There's not really as many holes on the Browns roster. Baker Mayfield versus Gardner Minshew. It's kind of sad that's a debate, but I would probably say Baker Mayfield just because I have more trust in him than Gardner Minshew, who did not do good as a starter. So the Browns get the win here in Jacksonville. Could be close. Could be the most competitive game the Jaguars play, but it's not going to matter. 0-11. Next up, they play the Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota Vikings, very strong offense this year. They're going to be a really good offense, I think. I think their defense it's going to be sketchy, but the Vikings defense definitely has some strong points. Definitely has some holes. In terms of defensive line and linebacker and corners and stuff. They have a strong safety, and they got a strong linebacker core. But the Vikings get the win here because of their offense, no doubt about it. 0-12. 4 games left. Are they going to be able to squeak away a win? So they play the Tennessee Titans. Again, this game's in Jacksonville. Titans, stronger roster. A.J. Brown burns the Jaguars' randy safeties and corners. Titans get the win here. Next up, they play the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry. I think it's funny. Like, the Jaguars, come on now. They play them in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is going to eat. We saw what he did to the Bengals last year. It's going to be similar when he plays the Jaguars. He'll juke everybody. I expect to see some broken ankles, like actual broken ankles where they get injured. It's going to be so funny to see the Jaguars trying to tackle him. There's no shot the Ravens lose this game. Free win for the Ravens. Next up, they play the Bears. This game is in Jacksonville, but at this point in the season, guess who's in, baby? Nick Foles. It's the revenge game. Nick Foles comes to Jacksonville. He says, "What? Who's Gardner Minshew?" Throws for, let's say, 666 yards, maybe 66 touchdowns this game. The Bears definitely going to win this game with no doubt. Nick Foles definitely going to feast right here. He's not the kind of guy to hold a grudge, but I wish he was because this would be funny. I think we'll definitely get the win here. It's going to be funniest game of the season. I'm actually really looking forward to this matchup, even though the Jaguars and Bears might not be the best teams. Bears could be contending for the playoffs, debatably for the 7th seed, but Jaguars aren't, and it's going to be a funny game to watch. Nick Foles destroy the Jaguars. So Jaguars are 0-15 now. Final game of the season, they play the Colts in Indianapolis. They played them week 1. Now they're playing them last game of the season. Colts get the win again, and the Jaguars go 0-16. Now let me just say this. Jaguars go 0-16 because their schedule is really hard, and every single one of these losses is against a team that has a better roster than them. But let me just say this. I think that Jaguars do have a chance to go 2-14. It's hard to lose all 16 games. So I believe that even though I predicted 0-16, Jaguars might get lucky. They might have a team or two that chokes, and maybe they'll go 2-14. But regardless, Jaguars definitely going to be one of the worst. They're going to be the worst team in the NFL in 2020. So Gardner Minshew, enjoy not winning a game. Have fun getting replaced by Trevor Lawrence in 2021. Jaguars, bad record, 0-16, 2-14, whatever. Jaguars, very bad. Next up, we're predicting the Tennessee Titans, the final team in the AFC South. So far we have the Texans at 7-9, Colts 10-6, Jaguars, yikes. Can the Titans beat the Colts record of 10-6 to make the playoffs? Stay tuned. Make sure you guys subscribe, drop a comment. There we go.